They say AI is taking over the world. Chatbots for this, virtual assistants for that, and eventually humans are going to be obsolete. I'm not saying I'm looking forward to that, but there's one robot that already exists and it's making my life and my cat's life better. Litter Robot. I can't say enough about this product. As a special offer to our listeners of the show, go to stopscooping.com/IDACAT, IDKAT, and enter the promo IDACAT to save an extra $50 off any Litter Robot bundle. That's an extra $50 off any Litter Robot bundle at stopscooping.com/IDACAT and enter the promo IDACAT at checkout. Stopscooping.com IDACAT and enter the promo code IDACAT. The spring is here. Get out there, enjoy the weather, and recapture the magic of riding a bike with an electric e-bike. With an amazing variety of models built for riders of all abilities, it's never been easier to fall in love with riding again. Go full throttle into spring with electric e-bikes, the #1 selling e-bikes in the nation. Get your adventure started at electricebikes.com. And please mention the I Don't Know About That podcast with Jim Jefferies when they send you the survey at the end. Say, yeah, how'd you find out about the electric e-bikes? Yeah, Jim Jefferies told me, both in person and on his podcast, because I'm getting around in the streets. That's electric, LECTRIC, ebikes.com. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We all carry around different stresses, big and small. We all keep them bottled up, and it can start to affect us negatively. Therapy is a safe space to get things off your chest and figure out how to work things out, whatever's weighing you down. Yep. Go to therapy. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp.com. Visit BetterHelp.com/IDK today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/IDK. Seasons. The ones that are hot and cold, and then the ones that you put on food. Or that seasoning.
Yeah.
You might find out, and I don't know about that, with Jim Jefferies.
A little bit out of practice.
Well, the seasoning. How's that called seasoning? Why is it called seasoning? And then you got the seasons. What's the correlation?
Sometimes there's words that mean different things that are the same.
Just make up a new word. So now the seasons aren't called that. They're called...
you're changing the seasons.
Zookadooks.
Wait. Zookadooks is like fall, summer, winter?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Zookadooks would be what you put on steak or something.
No, that's still going to be seasoning.
That's seasoning. Because that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think there's been too many songs.
We used to have longer Zookadooks back in the day.
No,
you could really tell the difference.
In LA, you don't see any Zookadooks.
Now with global warming, Zookadooks are very erratic.
Yeah.
Too many songs written about seasons. The Zookadooks doesn't go in a song. That's why if you're at a restaurant, you're like, can I get a little bit extra Zookadook on the side?
No, because then it makes it sound like it's Middle Eastern food, and Americans will balk at that.
Zookadook sounds Middle Eastern.
Zookadook.
Wow, like that accent. Yeah,
I got enough Zookadook to feed the whole family.
Zookadook sounds pretty good.
Zookadook.
Couscous?
Couscous with a bit of touch of Zookadook. a touch of Zookadook on your tahini. Exactly. That was not a chef's kiss. That was just a regular kiss.
I didn't bring my hand up. Yeah,
you didn't bring your hand up. But I imagine that must be hard for like people amputees to do the French kiss thing. And they go, and I'll tell you what I thought of that meal. Quadriplegics trying to do a chef's kiss.
We just did some shows last week. They were fun.
We did some shows. I'm back from the movie.
We got back from Florida and South Carolina. It was fun.
We did Florida and South Carolina. Those gigs were bangers.
Great.
They were both bangers.
Great
and
gigs.
Like Charleston, I thought, Charleston, don't know Charleston. They were one of the best audiences. I'd put them in my top 20 audiences of all time.
They're really good.
They were really good.
And so was Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale was a banger. They were all good, really receptive audiences. And I think also because I've been doing the movie for 6 weeks, it felt like I'd never told these jokes before, you know, with that excitement of new jokes. And I'm like, oh, they're the jokes I've told for a while, but I was like, oh, wow, new jokes.
Next week, first of all, tonight. If you're in the LA area, we're doing a live podcast at Flappers at 8 o'clock.
Is this, because we're recording this on Monday, are we doing one tomorrow?
We are. We're doing 3 podcasts this week.
All right.
You're welcome,
we
audience.
catch up.
I'll be there.
Well, there's only releasing one per week.
I know. You're welcome.
But tomorrow or tonight at Flappers at 8 o'clock, we're doing a live podcast.
Flappers.
So if you're in the LA area, come out to it. People
The
really
Comedy
enjoy
Club
it.
was named after a large woman with a big vagina who used to run with a gated sort of stance. That's where it came from.
What, Flappers?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it
Yeah,
was the
that's
dress.
No.
No, misconception.
Nope.
Oh, they should have that like up
big
there.
vaginaed woman who runs with her legs wide like a frilled neck lizard. Right? And then she goes through and she goes as she runs along.
Wow. Rippling in the wind.
Come on out.
That's why it's called Flappers. The more you know.
Come out and bring your pictures of your own vagina. So, no, edit that out. No, keep it up.
It's dated.
You don't have to bring your pictures. Just bring your own vagina, and we'll have a flap
Wow,
off.
I don't think we can just have everyone showing
off.
that.
We'll have a flap off. It'll be like when they give you promotional material at a postseason NBA game, so you can make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Post Zukadook. Post Zukadook.
If we don't make the change, no one will.
It's been, if we don't start it here, it's been a long fucking baseball Zukadook this year.
How do you spell Zukadook?
S-E-A.
Wait, S? Like a Z for sure. Zook?
I was spelling seasons.
I thought you'd at least do an X, maybe. X could be Zukadook.
The silent sons.
No, because, Z, like the guy, he just won the PGA Championship. Xander is an X, so you could go X or Z.
I didn't watch it.
All right, well.
Didn't watch it.
So you have gigs coming up in San Francisco.
That's where I left my heart. I'm going back to get it.
May 30th. Go pick that up at the pawn shop. You're hurt. And
They have Zukadooks like all fuck up there, don't they?
They do.
so, and then you are going on a tour in Australia. I thought you were offended when people do that.
No, it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw another shrimp on the barbie. Now we don't call prawns shrimp. When I said that, I actually meant a very short person.
You've got.
Do you call them Barbies?
Yeah, no, we call them Barbie.
So just the shrimp part was
We
wrong.
call them barbecues, Barbies, and Margot Robbie is from Australia.
Yeah. You throw a shrimp
She's
on her.
Barbie.
Just throw it on her.
And then if I was to
Throw it on a flapper.
if I was to throw my small penis on Margot Robbie, that would literally be throwing a shrimp on the Barbie. I'm not going to do that. I respect her.
Yeah.
You're safe around me, Margot.
So go to jimjefferies.com. There's a whole bunch of shows in Australia, and then after that, you will be on tour with Jimmy Carr, the Charm Offensive tour. In
We're
Canada.
going to be doing the Charm Offensive tour all across Canada. All of those shows are over 50% sold already, and they're like 10,000 seaters. So
and you also have shows on your own too, Detroit, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, but you're also going to be doing some shows with
let's not forget
Mark Norman and Dan Soder as well.
In December, I'm going to be playing Los Angeles at the Ace Theatre because that got moved, but that's where it's landing. It's not moving. Come and see me in LA. I'm only doing one theatre show this year in LA. That's where you're going to see me. But let's mention those Dan Soder gigs and Mark Norman.
Yeah, you're going to be with Mark Norman and Dan Soder. It looks like St. Louis and Atlanta. I see so far. And
I've got to give a shout out to those two lads. Both of them signed on quick to do that, and so I feel like a bit of a fraud saying they're my shows. These are triple headline shows.
Yeah.
These are triple headline shows that I'm doing with Mark Norman and Dan Soder, and I couldn't be more honoured to be on stage with these two lads. So
it looks like St. Louis and Atlanta.
St. Louis, Atlanta, and I want to say
on Connecticut at the casino.
Oh, at Foxwoods. Yeah, we're going to do Foxwoods. Right? Yeah, Foxwoods.
It doesn't
Casino.
say it on there yet, but the other two are listed on your website. But anyways, just go to jimjefferies.com and
yeah,
there's so many shows on there you can check out. Go to our live
loads
podcast.
of dates just added. So see if I'm coming to a town near you.
Oh, and if you're in Vegas I will be there next week. I will be at the Comedy Cellar May 27th until June 2nd. There's 2 shows a night. It's a really fun place to see comedy there, so I'll be there all week. And then I will be in San Francisco myself at the Punchline, the Sacramento Punchline. I just announced shows in Tampa at Side Splitters. I got a whole bunch of shows. You go to forshaw.net.
And you have a show on Wednesday.
Tomorrow. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, if you're in the LA area as well, after you go to the live podcast, go to the Improv. That's the Shawsome Show. It's the initial Shawsome Show with Forrest Shaw. The Doohickeys are going to be on it. A lot of other good comics. Maybe another comic that's here. Who knows?
Did I say yes to that?
Yeah, you're going to be there.
I've got to see my family. I've been away for a while.
Wow.
I'm in trouble doing live podcasts and this.
You weren't on the bill, but you are expected to be there, and you can come and go.
I'm
as quickly.
expected.
Well, I'd like you to be since you told me you would. But you can come and go as quickly as you want, and I'll put you up. And you can literally be there.
I'm in a bit of family trouble at the moment for not being present very much to the movie and everything. And now we're doing live. Oh God, I got a lot of things to tell the wife. And here's another one. Hey, if you if you want to see me in Vegas this August, the gigs are cancelled. It's not my fault. The Mirage Casino has shut down. They were meant to shut down they were meant to shut down in segments, and the gigs were meant to be happening, and I had all these gigs booked with them, so I'm not over the moon about it either. But if you got tickets, I would ring up and get a refund on those, because and mind you, if you're seeing any comedian in the Aces of Comedy, because there's a different comedian there every weekend, I would check on that, because
July 7th is when Mirage closes officially.
Yeah, well, my shows were in
I know
August.
what I'm saying, but before you tell people there might be canceled, there might be some shows before then that still go off.
I would check.
I'm assuming you will be somewhere else in Vegas in the near future, though.
Yes. We will find a new home in Vegas and a new place to perform. That's no problem. Me in Vegas, we're simpatico.
Yeah, which means?
It means that whatever the season or the
Zookadook.
whatever the Zookadook, I'll be there.
Okay.
Which is normally just hot.
IDCat Podcast on Instagram. Go there, too. Now let's welcome our guest, Dr. David Nutt.
G'day, Dr. David Nutt. Now it's time to play...
Yes, though. Yes, though. Yes, though. Yes, though.
Maybe.
Judging a book by its cover.
All right, Doctor, I can see... Well, first of all, Dr. Nutt, if you're not a...
He said you can call him Dave. After,
if you're not a fertility doctor, you're missing a beat there right now. But we're going to go... we're going to have a look around. There seems... You say... Look, whether this is what you are a doctor in or not, you seem to have a healthy interest in alcohol, cannabis... things that may psychedelics I can see on the wall. You are into brain bending things. Is that what we're going to talk about today? Getting wasted, or the medical term
Inebriated.
Inebriated.
A little bit. What do you think, Dave? I mean, I wouldn't say getting wasted. It's not what we're talking about.
No, much more insightful than that.
Specific. It's a specific topic we're going to talk about.
You're on the right track, though.
Yeah, you're on the right track, though.
Right, so I think we've done the effects of mushrooms, haven't we?
Yeah, we talked about
magical
mushrooms.
We've done the effects of alcohol.
Yeah, we saw that firsthand.
Yes, and we've done... We did
marijuana.
Surely we've done marijuana.
We did, yeah.
Can't remember.
Yeah, so you're on the right track. It's a two-parter, but they're closely related, I believe. I don't know enough about them.
So what? I'm going to say LSD.
You're getting close. I would say think about what
another acronym
people in LA like to do. That's
lie.
Yes.
No.
We're talking about lying and being a bunch of frauds.
No, people will travel out to Joshua Tree.
Oh, ayahuasca.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about DMT and ayahuasca today.
Okay, ayahuasca is a very newish thing to me.
Yeah, you're not just get to go off. I got to introduce them first.
I know, but okay. I haven't done it.
Think about what you're going to say. Professor David Nutt is the founder of Drug Science and the Edmund J. Safra Professor of Neuropsychopharmacology. He serves as the head of the Neuropsychopharmacology, I don't want to say that word anymore, it's too hard, unit in the Center for Academic Psychiatry within the Division of Brain Sciences, Department of Medicine at Hammersmith Hammersmith Hospital, Imperial College, London. He has also chaired the UK Advisory Council on the Misuse of Drugs, and for over 25 years, Professor Nutt has served as the editor of the Journal of Psychopharmacology, and he acts as a psychiatry drugs advisor to the British National Formulary. He has written over 500 original research papers and 31 books. Notably, his book for the general public, Drugs Without the Hot Air, earned him the Transmission Book Prize in 2014 for communication of ideas. He has a podcast, the Drug Science Podcast, which is very interesting, great podcast. Everyone should listen to that. We have links to that, and it's the Drug Science Podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you, Dave, for being here. Do you want to expound a little bit? How did you get into this field of neuropsychopharmacology? Yeah. I know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm a psychiatrist. Was a neurologist. So that the field is the study of drugs in the brain, and I use drugs to study the brain because the brain is a chemical organ. The key information transfer in the brain is through chemicals we call neurotransmitters, and to study those, we have to use molecules which are like them, which we call drugs. And I suppose my claim to fame, which is another thing. So you can use it at a dinner party if you want, because I have another one at the end for you. But this one up front is that I've probably given more different kinds of drugs to human beings than anyone else ever, probably.
Oh, I knew a bloke in Camden back in the day.
But he didn't publish papers on it.
Yeah. And he only really gave the one type of drug to me. His variety wasn't much. I'm sure it was cut with a million things.
So different types of drugs, too, is what you're saying, yeah?
Yes. I mean, I think we've given every class of illegal drug to human beings, with the exception so far of salvia. That's the one we haven't yet studied.
What's salvia? Never heard of salvia. And where can I get it?
Miami.
What's salvia?
It's like I'll defer to him. I think we did some when I was younger. I think it's like you smoke it. It's like a leaf. But
smoke it, you get it's called Salvia divinorum. But most people only do it once because the trip is so unpleasant. They don't want to repeat it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with drugs. It's like it's very hard. Like I've never done LSD.
No,
it's one of the ones that I just never did. I never did LSD because I just don't. I've done mushrooms, obviously weed and cocaine and alcohol and all that type of stuff, but and ecstasy and MDMA and ketamine and anyway, the list goes on, right? Ones that make you stay awake, ones that make you go asleep. It's all the stuff down there.
But never DMT or ayahuasca.
Nah.
I haven't done either of them either.
I hear ayahuasca, you start crying and vomiting and shit. I don't like vomiting. I don't like crying.
Well, those are the questions we'll be asking. So
yeah, but I don't quite know what it does. But I wouldn't want to go into a dark place with that one.
Well, we'll learn about it today. We'll see. Maybe you'll end up doing it. So this is what I'm going to do, Dave. I'm going to ask Jim a series of questions on DMT and ayahuasca. At the end of those answers, you're going to grade them on his accuracy, 0 through 10. Jack over here is going to grade him on his confidence, 0 through 10. I'm going to grade him on how hungry I am, 0 through 10. And we'll add those scores together. 21 through 30, Ayahuasca. 11 through 20, Ayahuasca. 0 through 10, Ayahuasca. Very creative. Wrote those 2 minutes ago.
Ayahuasca.
First question, Jim. What does DMT stand for?
Because it's DMT. It's dynamite. DMT. Drugs make tasty.
Yep. Nailed it. Where in nature can DMT be found?
In Mexico.
More specific, maybe like a plant or something?
In the outback of Mexico.
Okay.
The fields. It'll be in cactus, probably. I don't know.
Okay, there's a good guess. Yeah. Can you explain what a, quote, breakthrough experience is in the context of DMT use?
People start to go that they started to see their life in different ways, like they started to understand and get empathy for. I had a person who went through a very traumatic divorce, and a friend who went through a very traumatic divorce, and he said that whilst doing the drug was the only time that he actually saw it from her point of view. And so that really helped, even though she was in the wrong and she left him and she cheated and blah, 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 blah. But he started to see maybe how it happened a bit better.
Empathetic, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What is the relationship between DMT and serotonin?
Serotonin, which is a great name for a drag queen.
Everybody that's done drugs knows the word serotonin, but they're like, yeah, it's all about serotonin. Like,
Yeah,
don't quite know what.
serotonin is the chemical that's released to make you feel happy. Serotonin is, and that's the problem. That's the reason why the come down from drugs is bad, because you get all that serotonin, then your body overcompensates with the miserable chemical, and then you feel
So
sadder.
DMT and serotonin, what's the relationship?
They're the same thing.
Okay. Why do people often report encountering entities or beings during DMT experiences?
Because that's when the aliens talk to you, man.
Okay.
Maybe it's because they'll see a dog talk to them or something like that. It's not a drug I've done, as I've said. I don't like picturing things. I just like thinking that I'm more handsome than I am, that I'm a better dancer than I am,
Yeah, sounds
and
like
I
beer.
like to have my confidence boosted
Beer.
up, or I like to wonder about things.
Jack keeps saying beer, but he's never done cocaine. That's what you're referring to. So,
Of course.
What scientific theories exist about why DMT causes such vivid hallucinations?
Why does it give you such?
What scientific theories exist about why DMT causes such vivid hallucinations? Why do people think that?
I maybe it affects the iris or the retina or something like that, and other drugs don't.
Okay. What is ayahuasca and where is it traditionally used?
In a tent in Mexico. For some reason, you got to do
Why
it.
Mexico?
You got to do it because that's everyone I know goes down to Mexico to do it.
Joshua
right?
Tree is right
You can do
here,
it at
but-
Joshua
yeah.
Tree and stuff like that, but it needs to be in a desert in a tent for some reason, or it doesn't work. I don't know. Why can't I just do ayahuasca in my living room?
We'll find out. What is the origin of the name ayahuasca? I should ask you if you could spell it.
Ayahuasca.
Try and spell it too.
No, it's because you do it to yourself. It used to be called ayahuasca.
Okay. Do you know how to spell it? You want to do that one?
I
Okay.
A
Okay. Next
W
question.
K.
How
There's a Z in there.
how long does a typical ayahuasca ceremony last?
I reckon it's going to be a 6-hour gig.
Okay. What role does the MAO inhibitor play in ayahuasca?
The MAO.
MAO. I don't know if that's how it's referred to, but it's the MAO inhibitor. Might be MAO.
The MAO inhibitor.
Yeah.
The MAO inhibitor. That would mean that China have blocked it off their internet.
Okay. Okay. Any known health risks?
By the
associated-
way, South Carolina, we were just there. They blocked the porn, and you have to. I got some-
What?
I ate some edibles, right? I ate some edibles before the show. I went to look at pornography, as you do, right? And then they're like, you have to be 18, you have to show your face.
Yeah,
And I
the whole
didn't know
state.
if it was a scam, like they were trying to get my ID or
Yeah.
something like that. And I got too panicky, so I couldn't get into the porn in South Carolina.
The whole state has a block on it.
Yeah, the
You
whole
have to
state has a
show
block.
ID and stuff.
Yeah, you have to show IDs. That means the state knows what type of porn you're into. That's too much
too much.
information. Too much. I can't be doing that.
Any known health risks of ayahuasca?
Probably dehydration from the sounds of it. You're out in the desert, you're vomiting all the fucking time. I don't know. I don't know if you can overdose from it. I don't know if it's a liquid. I don't know what it is. It just sounds like the people who have done it.
Yeah.
The people like, I was vomiting all the time. And then one person I know said that they felt closer to their daughter than they used to before. And then one person said they felt further away from their child after the experience.
Huh. There's a couple.
They said to me that they never truly loved their child because they never truly loved their husband when they got pregnant and it was born out of love or something.
I'm going to skip these next three, Jack.
Bloody
I'll get to
weird.
them when we're talking. So, number 13. Can ayahuasca... I'm sorry, 15. What is the ayahuasca diet?
I would say that would be something that you would have to eat before you go in there. You wouldn't want anything too heavy because there's vomiting involved.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
So I'm going to say no hot dogs. I'm going to say keep it clean. keep it clean. I reckon nice salad, but nothing too rich with acidic. So like tomato can be very hard on your stomach.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So I would say avocado, being the desert. I'm going to say it's strictly avocado.
Okay. What is the significance of the vomiting or purging in an ayahuasca ceremony?
You're cleansing yourself of all the bad shit in your body is getting out so that you can ayahuasca it up, baby.
And then how do the shamanic practices influence the ayahuasca experience?
They shouldn't put the word sham in something like
What's a
this.
shaman?
Yeah, sham man.
Like,
That's what I call them.
All right.
Call them shams. I don't know if I believe in it. I do believe in it and I don't believe it. Because I believe in drugs in the sense that I know that drugs do things, right? I'm not a moron,
Yeah.
right? So I know that drugs do something. I know that something will do. I know that ayahuasca will do something to you, but I don't know if I'm a full believer in that this is going to be a life-changing experience.
okay. 2 more questions. What are some misconceptions people have about DMT and ayahuasca?
I drank kava once. Does that count?
Kava?
Yeah.
Isn't that a
No.
coffee? But what
No, he
is that?
says no. Kava is a root that that is down in the South Pacific and in Australia and stuff like that, and it's grounded into a muddy type water. And I drank it in Vanuatu once. I'm just making. I might as well say Narnia to you, right?
Yeah, what is Vanuatu?
Vanuatu and the town of Vila.
Yeah. That's Vanna White's original name.
Vanuatu is in the Pacific Islands and it's off the coast of Australia,
Cool.
and it's island people.
That's cool.
They speak French there.
Misconceptions
Whoa.
people have about DMT and ayahuasca. What are some?
Misconceptions. Another great drag name. Misconceptions. Misconceptions is that you should do it with kids.
Okay. Never
Don't
heard
do
of
it
that
with
one.
kids.
Last question. What are the legal restrictions on DMT and ayahuasca around the world, like in general?
It has to be legal here now in America because I know
Ayahuasca.
so many people who are traveling out to do it on the regular.
What about DMT?
Policed, but not decriminalized. I'll go decriminalized.
Okay.
All right. Look, ladies and gentlemen, this next ad, normally I read these things, but I don't need to do that to you. Because, dear cat mummies and cat daddies, we all know you're obsessed with your cat, admit it. If we're looking at a camera roll, it would be 90% pictures of your feline friends. You don't have children. You have nothing else going on. These are these creatures you have in your house. You have to scoop shit up. They poop in a tray. Then you come in with a scoop and you scoop it up and you put it in a bag and then you dump it out in your bag. Then you put it out on the sidewalk and then another bloke who has a bag of dog shit, he drops it in there as well. Right? Get out of me bins. It's a whole thing.
I hate that.
Oh, I hate that. Go carry it back to your house.
I always throw it in my recycling bin too.
They're the worst. They say AI is going to take over the world, chatbots for this, virtual assistants for that, and eventually humans are going to be obsolete. I'm not saying I'm looking forward to it, but there is one robot that already exists, and it's making me and my cats, I have 2 of them, lives better. It's the litter robot. Now, I could say to you that the company just sent me a little robot and it's changed my life, but this is a lie. They have sent me a robot and it hasn't changed my life because this is my 3rd litter robot. I have been a proud purchaser of this. I'll do this ad for free. Not obviously going to do that, by the way. Thank you for the money, litter robot. But I would do it for free because my family is a litter robot family. What happens is the cat goes in. It's like a circular thing.
Looks
right?
kind of like a Death Star
The
kind of
new
thing.
one's smaller and it comes with a staircase. Oh. Right? Comes with a staircase that they can go in. The cat goes in. I'm just going to tell you how it works. The cat goes in. There's litter in the tray. The cat goes in, does its business, right? Leaves. And it always goes in there. The cat never needs to be invited. You don't have to train your cat. Your cat just knows. It smells the litter. It goes in there, right? It likes it because it's a private little dark hobby hole to do its thing. It goes in there. It does the shit. Then when it leaves, the machine senses that it happens. The machine starts to rotate, right? Dropping the compounded poo into a garbage disposal
And urine.
bit and unit, all the hard stuff, into a bottom tray, and then just every couple of days, just go and open it up, pull the bag out of the tray, put a new bag in, off you go. You never have to scoop up again. Your days of scooping are over.
Yeah.
It conceals the smell of the urine and the feces. I wish they had one for humans.
I don't have a cat anymore, but I wanted one of these. Like this was something I saw right. Well, my last cat that I have a dog now. They were just coming out with these, and I was like, "That's the
game changer." It's no, I'm not.
Scooping's the worst thing.
If you have a cat and you don't have a litter robot, then you're not living. Remember when you were 5 and you used to play in a sandbox with your little plastic shovel, and it was kind of fun, but it was sort of weird as well. And then now when you're grown up, that means you get to play in a little robot with a little tiny plastic shovel as well, but you're scooping up shit. Let the litter robot do the work. Litter robot is the solution to your litter box problems. Never scoop up with the litter robot. Litter robot's self-cleaning technology automatically cleans and uses it so your cat will be fresh for the bed. Your cat can come out of there. It's got no shit on it or anything like that. It's not. It goes off to the litter box. Your house will smell better. You'll smell better. The cat will smell better. Litter robot will send you a notification to your phone. What do you think it'll be saying?
Your cat shit.
Cat did a shit. Yeah, it won't say it in so many words.
Yeah, if they use a different language, probably.
It'll say something. It might also...
Cats use the restroom. Or
I'll be honest with you.
It's not going to curse.
I don't use the app because I'm an analog man, right?
Yeah.
The cat, every 2 days I empty it. You don't have to empty it all the time.
Yeah. But it has that option if you want it. If you're in that technology.
Yeah, but the bag will be there. The smell. The little robot will send you a thing, and then it'll make sure. Hang on. Wait a minute. It even does data and insight to stay on top of your cat's health.
Yeah, there you go.
So it'll actually say the thing, the cat's shitting too much, the cat's pissing too much, it's got too much of this and it's pissed, got too much of that. Look, it doesn't get any easier than this.
Yeah.
Name things that are easier. Can't do it. Don't even try. And your cat will thank you. Join over the 1 million happy pets and pet parents who have upgraded to Litter Robot. What are you waiting for? It says here for me to provide a personal experience, but my whole life is a personal experience. I cannot tell you enough how good the Litter Robot is. It's a game changer for cat owners. Dogs can piss off. As a special offer to our listeners in the show, go to stopscooping.com/IDK. You got to put the /IDK. So I'm going to spell the whole lot for you because I don't want you to get this wrong. STOPSCOOPING.com/IDKAT and enter the promo code IDACAT to save an extra $50 off, right? Look, even if they charge 3 times as much money for these things, you're underpaying. I'm telling you, it's genius. That's an extra $50 off any litter bundle at stopscooping.com/IDK and enter the promo code IDK at checkout. Stopscooping.com/IDK and enter the promo code IDACAT, IDKAT. And that's the whole ad. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to read an ad. But look, when I say read, this is a joy. This spring, you go get out there. You go get your electric e-bikes on, weather the time, and recapture the magic of riding a bike with an electric e-bike. With an amazing variety of models built for all riders and all abilities, it's never been easier to fall in love with riding again. Plus, electric e-bikes ship free and only requires quick toolless assembly. It means I can't do it. People are often calling me a tool. Go to electricebikes.com to discover e-bikes that start at just that can't be right, $799. That should be $7,990.
No, $799.
I don't like when you lie to me, Forrest.
Tell them the truth.
$799.
I know about these bikes. I ride one.
With an XP. Well, this is true because, Forrest, talk about it. You ride the bike.
I ride it all the time. I famously have ridden it with Arnie in my backpack. I think we've seen the video of that and stuff.
I'm waiting for the movie.
But but I ride mine all the time. It's amazing. It's you can change the pedal assist, so it's like helping you a lot or a little. You can just go straight into electric as well too if you want. But it's just a really great way to get around town. I'll go to like Trader Joe's and pick up a few things. I'll just go up the street to run some errands, CVS, whatever. It's awesome. You don't have to get in your car. You get a little wind. It's nice.
Comfort, speed, durability, style. Did you You have any custom features that you liked about your bike?
Well, it has like built-in lights, like so headlight and a rear light that you can just switch on on the control panel by the touch of a button. It's good. It came with a like a rack on the back, so you can tie down like I said, if I go to the grocery store or CVS or something like that, you can tie down bags and things like that. That's you know what else is cool? When you're just walking.
It has an Iraq at the back and uses very little oil. I think.
Yeah, okay.
I
got
rock
that. What do you mean? Oh, a rack. I said it right. Yeah. And I like walking it to be when you walk. I'm just saying when you have to walk it, it like knows that you're walking and it just keeps pace with you.
Well, see, that's
really,
funny that you should mention that for us because a lot of people think that when they get an electric e-bike that they'll be exercising less because the pedals are assisted. This isn't true. Data shows that e-bike riders take their bike out more often.
Yeah.
Much more often.
Yeah.
Meaning more exercise, more exploring, more fresh air. Up to 150 miles on one charge with electric e-bikes, unbeatable long-range option. Financing is as low as $49 a month. We've all got $49 a month, plus savings on gas, parking, and maintenance.
You can fold it, too. You can fold it and put it in your car and then just travel somewhere, like meet friends somewhere, and then go as well.
How did we ever exist without it? Durable features and accessories and added safety, convenience, and control. Anyone can ride.
Come on. Look at me.
Anyone.
Yeah.
With variety of models designed to be better made for transportation for all riders, the XP Lite is zippy, affordable, a great start to any e-bike journey. The Expedition, sturdy, versatile cargo e-bike that can hold up to 450 pounds, perfect for commuters, families, delivery drivers, and more. Or, what's this? The XP Trike for the people who have zero balance. The first fully foldable and fully assembled electric tricycle with enough torque for hefty payloads.
Yeah.
We know what that means. Getting started with e-bike adventures is easier than ever. Ships free, has quick toolless assembly, and is affordable for easy travel and storage. Same safety regulations and road access as regular bikes. In most states, licenses, registrations, and inspections are not required. But, look, hey, always check the laws in your state. Go full throttle into spring with electric e-bikes, the #1 selling e-bikes in the nation. Get your adventure started with electric e-bikes. And please mention the I Don't Know About That podcast with Jim Jefferies when you go to the post-checkout area. Just mention it. It's nice. Be a nice thing. That's electric, LECTRIC, ebikes.com. All right, look, this show's sponsored by BetterHelp. I can't give you a better endorsement then, and this is, I believe, a fact in my life that I would not be here without therapy. I have had a stage in my life where therapy talked me off the edge. We can all carry around different stresses, big and small. When we keep them bottled up, they can start to affect us negatively. Therapy is a safe space where you can get things off your chest and figure out how to work things. What's weighing you down and why. Therapy, I believe your mental health is the same as your physical health. If you don't go to the gym, you start to feel lethargic, your body gets fat, and your joints are sore. But you go to the gym, all those things seem to alleviate, or you can deal with them a lot better. Your mental health is no different. It's no different. You got to keep on top of it. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched up with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/IDK today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/IDK.
Dave, on 0 through 10, 10 is the best.
I know nothing.
How did Jim do on his knowledge of DMT and ayahuasca?
So do you want me to score each point?
No, just overall. Just an overall.
Just give me a vague
feeling that you have.
A vibe.
Yeah, he was taking notes.
Oh, yeah, I've got them all listed here. Well, he was good on 2.
All right.
He got 2 8s. But he got 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So on average, I reckon he was scoring probably about 3.
3.
All right, I'm all right with
Not
3.
bad, yeah.
It's all right.
Give me a 0 for confidence, Jack.
Yeah.
'Cause
No,
I'm
I was
not-
going to give you like a 4.
All right, man.
Because you knew
4.
some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not that hungry. So you're Ayahuasca. You got a 7. So, all right, Dr. David Nutt, let's start talking. What does DMT stand for? Jim said drugs make tasty. I'm assuming that's wrong.
That was the one I got right.
Dimethyltryptamine.
Dimethyltryptamine.
Tryptamine is an amino acid which is in foodstuffs, and some plants turn it into this molecule called dimethyltryptamine, which is a powerful psychedelic.
Oh, so it exists in a lot of things with a tryptamine. Yeah, and then okay. So where in nature can DMT be found? You said Jim got a point here. This is outback of Mexico in a cactus.
You got 2 points. Well, it's not it's found in a remarkable number of plants. Given that you're Australian, Jim, I'm going to tell you it's found in almost all wild plants in Australia.
Then why aren't we all tripping balls around Australia on that? We're off bloody
Because you
doing
don't-
meth.
Well, it's illegal, and you don't know that.
Yeah,
And
but
it's not called ayahuasca.
Yeah,
It's
but
called all sorts of other things.
they should work on that, because in Australia, okay, so I don't know if you know this, but in Australia, a gram of cocaine now has hit $300, right? $300, where a gram of cocaine in Britain is 50 pounds, over here $60, right? And I haven't taken it for a long time. It all might have gone up, but I'm just saying from the
It's
level.
a different drug.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, right, we are desperate for drugs in Australia, being an island, so everything we have is either meth made, cut to all bullshit, or there's a lot of smackheads, and like the fact that we have ayahuasca just sitting around in every plant.
No, you have DMT. That's different. So DMT is sitting around in many. In fact, it's so common. About 20 years ago, the Australian government brought in a law which was trying to stop people planting native Australian plants in their garden because they thought they were going to be using it to get high.
And why haven't the Australians picked this up? I feel like, or have they? And it's just something that they haven't told me about.
That's a question I can't answer. I don't know why you're so keen on the older stimulants, frankly.
I'm just a businessman, and if I knew that everything was around, okay, so we have a lot of plants in Australia that are only indigenous to Australia, or like, you know, just for example, wattles or something like that.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And so these are all filled with DMT. All right, how do I harvest the DMT? How do I make it into a substance that can be used?
Well, this is the subtle difference between DMT and ayahuasca. You have to smoke plants with DMT to get an effect, unless you do what the indigenous people in the Amazon basin. So ayahuasca is an invention or discovery of the indigenous Amazonian peoples. And they worked out that if you boil up 2 plants, one plant that contains DMT and the other plant that contains that stuff called Mao, although they didn't know it was Mao, they discovered that the two together made a very interesting drink, which would give you hallucinations and experiences, out-of-body experiences, which they call ayahuasca. And ayahuasca means vine of the soul, because one of the plants is a vine.
Well, okay, so now I'm getting more interested in this. So the ayahuasca, okay, because I'll never try DMT because I'll never inhale smoke in any form ever again in my entire life. I don't believe that anything should go into your lungs except for real air. I'm very passionate about that. Right, there's nothing worth smoking, and but if the ayahuasca is a drink.
Yeah.
And I don't have to have a lot of it the first time. All right. But I know me in drugs. It starts off with you have a little bit and then you go, I'm feeling all right. And then I cane it too hard. It's me in all substances. I can't.
Well,
I'm the same way with canopies at a party. I stand near the kitchen.
what are canopies?
The
The
little
great
tiny
thing about
hors
ayahuasca is that if you take too much, you do throw up a lot.
Yeah.
It's a bit self-limiting in that sense.
Oh, it starts. Okay, so everyone throws up on it.
Yeah, a lot of that's part of the tradition is that you throw up and shit, so that you clean. Actually, and you got 8 points for that, by the way. You got 8 points because you kind of worked that one out.
Throw up and
Right. Because I already seem to be doing half those tasks all by myself on the regular, whether I want to or not.
Yeah, on the road the other day. I think you did that.
I shit. My bowels aren't. I'm very sensitive stomach.
Is Taco Bell ayahuasca?
Yeah. So the new cantina menu. So what would you suggest? Because everyone seems to be in a tent. So do you do it in a hotel room where you've got a bathroom to vomit and shit in? Do you wear a diaper for the experience?
If you in the big tents in Peru and Brazil, they give you a bucket
for
but
both?
You could do it in a hotel room.
The bucket for both?
Yeah, well, if you can't get off to the loo, then you do it in the bucket.
I need several buckets, man.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I don't shit where I eat. So I need
a
shit where you puke.
Yeah. So I'll need a puke bucket, a shit bucket, and a hemorrhoid blood bucket, and a pile pushing up stick.
All right. Well,
fair enough. Well, maybe ayahuasca's not for you then.
I just laugh like Ricky Gervais said.
So that we kind of went off course. In nature, DMT can be found in a lot of places. Then I guess so many places.
It's probably it's the most widely found psychedelic in nature. Yes.
Wow.
And you can't just eat the plants and then it will happen. It has to be smoked DMT.
No, so I'm going to talk you through this.
Okay.
Because that's question 9. What role does the MAO inhibitor play in ayahuasca? So MAO stands for monoamine oxidase, and that is an enzyme in your gut and in your liver that breaks down DMT. So we eat DMT, it gets destroyed before it gets to the brain. But, as I say, the indigenous people discovered that another plant contains something called harmaline, which blocks that enzyme, and therefore you can drink the drink, and the DMT will then get through the liver and into your brain.
I never. This is awesome. I didn't know the difference between DMT and ayahuasca. I didn't even know they were related like that. I didn't know. So okay, got it.
All right. So why do people, if they are shitting and vomiting, what's the fun?
We can jump around too.
Well, the fun is after you shat and vomited, then you go places. You go to heaven or hell or some other.
But that's the thing
universe.
is, you could go to hell. You could go to hell. How horrible would that be? That's why
sounds lousy.
That's why I don't want to go to hell, because I get pretty dark thoughts, and also I don't want to live in my brain. I want to go somewhere else. I've lived in my brain the whole time.
Most people go to interesting places on ayahuasca. They're not many people have. I mean, the trips. It's more. It can be challenging if you are depressed, but for most people, the trips are different, and so different that they're interesting. And sometimes you do meet these creatures called entities. You go into another dimension where the entities are, and you can have conversations with them, and they can teach you things about yourself, and they can help you solve problems in your life.
But okay, and I don't mean to be dismissive of the entities, but they're bullshit, right? They're not real things. They're things that you're imagining. So why would I take information off them? Like, okay, so has there ever been an entity that's just come down like this, and this is how you're going to make an iPad from scratch that's better than the iPad that already exists, and then at the end of it you come back like, oh, I'm going to make so much money.
You think it's business ideas they're giving you, entities?
Could be.
They're more about self-awareness and making sense of the challenges in your life.
Do people come out of the ayahuasca experience and then like, oh well, I'm divorcing my wife, You know what I mean? Like are there because you could make some big sweeping life changes, right? If you hear these things, because I've heard a lot of people. Sorry, go on.
Well, you made that wonderful comment about how someone came out of who was going through a divorce and came out saying for the first time he understood her perspective. Those are the kind of changes that occur. So almost always the experience is beneficial in some way.
Now,
Well, I'll give it a go.
with the entities you mentioned, what scientific theories exist about why DMT causes such vivid hallucinations?
So the enthusiasts, the DMT enthusiasts, the psychonauts genuinely believe you go into a different dimension. It transports you into another place through a wormhole. You're in a different dimension. Often you're in a universe which is more real, more meaningful, brighter, more tangible with the entities. We've been studying that. We've been trying to image the brain. Well, we have imaged the brain of people who are having DMT trips, and we're trying to find the entities. We haven't found them yet, but I suspect they probably are in the brain somewhere.
And have you done this yourself?
No, I've not been a subject to our DMT stuff. I'm too old now.
How old's too old? Am I too old?
Well, I'm 73. I suspect you are not going to make that, are you? With the way you've been taking drugs?
I'm 68. I just moisturise, mate.
Jim's stopped doing those drugs though. So
I'm 47 years old, and I've stopped. I'm clean living. I'm sober. The only thing that I do is I take edibles. I partake in
California sober.
I'm what they call California sober. I partake in marijuana.
Yeah, I see.
I call it high and dry, and I also take edibles in the form of large amounts of food.
Yeah.
Yes.
I take edibles and edibles.
We skipped around a bit, but the breakthrough experience for DMT and the relationship between DMT and serotonin, we didn't talk about that, I don't think.
I gave him an 8 for the breakthrough because what you said was exactly right. That DMT, it allows people to communicate more intensely with themselves, with other people, with nature. That's the breakthrough experience.
Okay.
And it's due to serotonin, but it's you were quite right on serotonin. I gave you a 5 on serotonin. Serotonin is a transmitter that's involved in feeling, in empathy, and positivity, and mood. And what DMT does, DMT is like a super serotonin. It's like giving a serotonin boost.
So does it give you? I'm just trying to understand the high. Does it give you a boost in the same way that like MDMA does? In the serotonin.
Great question. That's a great question. It gives you something like MDMA, but it does more than that. So it gives you the empathy and the sort of reduction of anxiety and that MDMA does, but it also produces much more profound changes in consciousness. So people, as I say, no one's gone to another dimension on MDMA.
No,
but on DMT, they very commonly say they're in a different place, a different universe, a different world.
Now you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to. Do people try to have sex on it? Because like MDMA, people are always wanting to have sex. Actually, they always want to have sex, and then I found over the
throw
years.
Up in feces pile.
Well, that's the whole thing. It doesn't feel like it's a sexy drug, but if it raises your serotonin. See, I've always thought with mushrooms, I'm never into sex on mushrooms. I'm just like too giggly, and I'd rather.
Well, that's the point. It's like a super mushroom. So no, in fact, there's much more interesting things to do than have sex on DMT.
I agree.
You'll be on that. You'll post that.
Yeah. But with all those buckets of shit around, how am I not meant to get an erection?
Well, I don't think I want to go there anymore, but I can recommend a good psychiatrist.
All right, we'll send you a psychiatrist.
I make myself laugh.
The origin of the name ayahuasca. Oh yeah, that you said it was the vine of the soul. That's the name. Yeah.
Yep.
How long does it typically last? A ceremony?
overnight. So the ceremonies usually start as it gets dark. The visuals, people often have very powerful and entertaining visuals, and of course the classic visuals. And this is another interesting dinner talk,
Dinner party thing, yeah.
Conversation. Yeah, the indigenous people see serpents and jaguars, and the serpent is the communication with God. The serpent is like a snakes and ladders, but in this case you go up rather than slide down the serpent. And when these Spanish invaders got into South America and started teaching Christianity to the natives said, oh, they understood God. God was a serpent. And the Christians said, no. I'm afraid the serpent's the devil. And they tried to eliminate all the use of psychedelics because they thought they were introducing people to the devil rather than to God.
I'm so boring, I'd probably see worms and Volvos.
Volvos.
You might. Well, we'll
Snakes
have
and
to find
jaguars.
out. You might see what you want to see.
I mean, Volvo is boring. I like that anyway.
Snakes and jaguars, worms and Volvos.
I like it.
We talked about the MAO inhibitor. Any known health risks associated with ayahuasca?
Yes, it can raise your blood pressure a little bit. So if you've got really high blood pressure, you probably wouldn't want to do that. And if you're taking some medicines can make it a bit dangerous. So medicines like lithium, you can have fits. So people are recommended either not to take it if they're on medicines or to get off the medicines for a good few weeks beforehand. But that in itself can lead to problems because, of course, if you're on the medicine for a good reason,
you need the medicines for good reason.
Then you can have, and I know people who've come off the medicines so they can have ayahuasca, and then they've had terrible recurrences of their depression. So it's better not to do that if you can. But there are some medicines you can stay on. But some you would have to come
Why
off.
does it always seem to happen in a tent? And why do we have to have a bucket? Why can't I do it in a hotel room with a toilet?
You can, but see that's a really good. You can have individual ayahuasca sessions if you can find someone to do that. As we'll discover later, it's actually illegal in the US. It's illegal in almost every country except South America. But you could certainly do it in any setting you like, provided you had a guide with your. It's done in a tent with shamans because that's the most efficient way. You can have maybe 15 people lying around in a big tent. Do you take it lying down because it's quite often hard to stand up.
And for the most part, these 15 people, do you know other people, or do you? Is it
no?
just
Usually they're people you don't
strangers?
know. You can go as a group. Some military vets go as groups. The whole platoon that's been traumatized might go together. But typically, no. You typically people go by themselves or with their partners. Depends whether they're going for healing or they're going for the experience. There are sort of psychedelic tourists. That's big business, but there are also people who, like vets, who've got PTSD who want to be healed.
Once it leaves your body, can you have any psychotic episodes? Can it have any lasting effects?
Well, it has lasting effects very often because people come out healed. They often feel that they've lifted the trauma from their bodies, and they often feel very different. So the effects are often really enduring. But if you have a bad effect, we don't recommend people who have been psychotic to do it because it could bring back psychosis.
Okay.
All right. So I saw there's a comedian named Ron White, and he's done podcasts talking about how he did ayahuasca and he stopped drinking. I don't know if you saw it.
I know he stopped drinking.
Yeah, that's what he credited, at least on Tom Segura's podcast. And so is that a thing people do too? Because I'm like a compulsive gambler and I've had problems with that. Is that something that I would have could be
Well,
beneficial?
indeed. So actually, you'll be interested. We are just starting at Imperial College a study of mushrooms, psilocybin in compulsive gamblers. So I will tell you in 6 months whether it might work. If mushrooms work,
All of his money will be gone by then. Can we do it this week?
Oh, do you want to volunteer?
Yeah, I'll volunteer. 100%. I'll volunteer. I've done mushrooms before. And I like mushrooms, but I've never done them. I guess you're administering certain amounts of doses, or I don't know. I'm 100% will volunteer.
You need to have a full trip. You need to have a really you need to let go. You need to do it in a controlled setting where you can genuinely have a big dose and let go.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't treat Americans in Britain because our insurance won't cover the American legal costs.
And also, it
But you
might
can find
work, it
somebody.
might not work at the gamble forest.
Ho, ho, ho.
Well, last time I was in Las Vegas with Jim here, we were doing shows, and I was opening for him, and Jim does not have a gambling problem, so he'll go out and have a gamble with some friends. And we took mushrooms and sat there at the table, and I didn't do a huge dose, but I did not have any desire to gamble. I just had fun laughing.
Well done. Well,
Yeah.
that's great. So maybe, but it didn't cure you, did it?
No.
All you have to do for us is be on mushrooms 24 hours a day, and you'll have no problem whatsoever.
You never leave the bed. Yeah.
All right.
Well, sadly, this is the problem. Well, it's not the problem. This is actually one of the really good things about these psychedelics is if you keep taking them, the effect wears off. And that's why you can't become dependent on it. With ayahuasca, generally, people wouldn't take it more than maybe 3 times in a week. Otherwise, the effect would disappear.
All right. Well,
Oh, okay.
I only plan on doing it once.
I was going to try and do
My entire
ayahuasca
life.
just for that reason. I was like, oh, maybe gambling or something like that. But I mean, maybe I'll try it. I don't know.
Well, if you do, will you let me know, please? Because seriously, it would be very encouraging to us in our research if we had sort of experts like you telling us that ayahuasca helps. Maybe DMT is more powerful than mushrooms generally, and it might be that if the mushrooms don't work,
I
then we could move to
reckon
DMT.
you should try Ozempic.
Yeah.
A lot of
It doesn't-
people have given up things on that drug because it
I know.
takes away urges to eat.
I don't
takes away
like
urges-
taking drugs like that though, like pharmaceutical kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, well,
It's
you
just
go
a
shit in a
what is it?
bucket until you're all cured.
What were you saying, Dave?
Shit out the gambling.
I'm saying, it's not, it's only an injection once in a while. But I don't. The evidence that we've been researching Ozempic in addictions for the last 10 years, and there's some people it works, but for the majority it doesn't. So, but on the other hand, it definitely loses weight. So
Yeah,
that's always
I
the plus side.
I had a friend who took it who lost weight and stopped drinking.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yep.
I'd already stopped drinking.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
so, go on.
But there have been studies. I mean, I can tell you the company, the Novo Nordisk, the company that invented this. I mean, 7 years ago, they thought it could stop people drinking, and it does stop some people drinking. But if you give it to 100 alcoholics, it only stops about 30 drinking. So, and then placebo stops about 25 drinking. So actually, it's not a
30's
licensable
30's
medicine.
not bad.
But 25
No, it's not
on
bad.
placebo.
It's beating placebo that's the problem. It's because, of course, you're in a program and they're getting other treatments as well. It's not just the Ozempic.
If I come up with a good British accent, can I come do the mushroom study? Hello.
Stay in touch, my man. Stay in touch, okay? Yeah, you have to be a little posher than that because we're Imperial. We're the super.
That's the only one I can do.
Yeah, he's
Like a
making
Monty
the pot
Python
like England.
So common side effects, we talked about ayahuasca, and it can be used therapeutically. I think we've been talking about ayahuasca diet. Jim said this is what you eat before because you're going to vomit. No hot dogs, keep it clean.
Yeah, he's dead. He was right. I gave him, what did I give him for that? I gave him a 5 out of 10 because he's right. You don't eat meats. You want to get meat out. And the reason for that is that meat is full of tryptophan, and tryptophan turns into serotonin. So what they're trying to do is strip serotonin out of your body. And that means that the receptors for serotonin are freed up so that the DMT gives you more bang for your buck when you take it.
So all avocado.
Yeah,
That's what Jim said.
I'm not sure about avocado. I mean, it's... I don't know about it. It's a good question. They sort of recommend
it's been well documented, me and my hemorrhoids. I just would think that if I'm going to shit in a bucket, I want something that's going to be able to pass easy. That would be my.
Well, in that case, I don't. Yeah, I actually think on ayahuasca, pretty much everything comes out with an explosion, so I don't think you need to worry about being constipated.
There you go. If you're constipated, take ayahuasca. another cure. So
I'm not saying that.
The significance of purging and vomiting, Jim says cleansing yourself of all the stuff in your body. Is that?
Well, the reality is that's the ayahuasca turning your guts on. But the indigenous peoples, the shamans, say you're getting rid of the bad spirits, but you're certainly getting rid of things, and you can interpret it any way you like. But it is a pharmacological effect of the drug, and we see it. We see it with mushrooms. If you take a lot of mushrooms, people sometimes vomit.
But so this can't be good for you if your body is making everything else fall out. Well, maybe it is good for you. Well, I just will there ever be just like a tablet or a shot that they'll sell at the pharmacy where you just go home, don't use heavy machinery, have a bucket?
Yeah, you can. They are making it into capsules. This combination of the two plants, they are making it into capsules that people can use in the therapy, sort of in them. So you don't have to go, but you will always run the risk of vomiting, I think. We do recommend, if you're going to do ayahuasca, do it with someone who can help you, especially if you're struggling to get to the toilet, so they can give you the bucket.
So shamanic practices, how does that influence the ayahuasca experience? You've mentioned it several times, but that's...
Well, there's an enormous ritual around the use of ayahuasca that's been developed for thousands of years. Shamans are people that have learned the skills. That's often passed on father to son, and they know about the manufacture, the creation of it. They know about the preparation. They know about the history and the symbolism, and they also have songs they sing. They're called curanderos, and there's music and singing and chanting that go with it, and all together they produce these extremely powerful experiences, which for everyone, almost everyone, are life-changing in some way, and for many people they're actually it's very significantly life-changing. You can see things differently.
What's a common life-changing thing that they're more loving, they're more accepting, they're more
indicate more? It is basically, you're less insular. You see the world, you're more interested in the world, you're more connected to the world. You think differently, you've got more insights into your own mistakes, you've got new ways of behaving. It is all sorts of changes occur, but mostly it's a sense that more is possible. That your brain is controlling so much of your mind, and you can, with ayahuasca, switch off your brain, and then your mind can run freer, and you can actually go to places, think things that you haven't been allowed to think before, see things differently, etc.
Yeah, I've thought about doing it, but everyone's always like, "Oh, I know a guy." There's always a lot of my friends have gone out to Joshua Tree for whatever reason, and they're always like, "I have this shaman," or "I know the guy." But that's the thing that always turns me off. Is like, I don't know, anyone can say like I would be worried about that. They need to have like a.
So it's only legal. Well, it's only legal in South America.
Well, he was going to tell me how to.
Yeah, so it's legal in Brazil and Peru. It's essentially. So we're talking about ayahuasca here. Yeah, ayahuasca.
Yeah, I just don't want DMT. I just don't want to do it anywhere where I have to know where my passport is. You know what I mean?
Well,
like, you know when you're like when you're overseas,
yes,
where's me fucking passport? I'm worried about me passport. I'd like to do it in America or Australia where I can just fucking bum out on the whole thing.
Well, there is no doubt. If you put your mind to it, you will be able to find. If you read Michael Pollan's book, How to Change Your Mind, he managed to source a ayahuasca experience in the States. You won't have any problems if you look around. I mean, it will be illegal, but I don't think you're going to get prosecuted. Why would you? You're not doing anyone any harm, are you? No one would know.
Can I get?
Don't tell people beforehand.
How do I get it past TSA?
So that's what you were going to say to me, is it's illegal. So, because I was saying, people always recommend these people to me in the desert out here.
No. But when people ask me where to go, we usually recommend some retreats in Costa Rica. There's a number of already very well established and very effective retreats with high quality therapists, some of whom we've trained. Some of our therapists go over there to earn some extra money. So that you can get really good retreats in Costa Rica. But you will be able to find private therapists in the States. I just can't recommend them. I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, sure. But
Yeah,
I wasn't worried about the passport thing until you said that, Jim. And then if I went to Costa Rica, that's what I would be thinking about. Where's my passport? I'll be throwing up. Where's my passport? You took it. Give it back. Yeah.
And also, now that I know, so I do want to do it now, and I know that something, maybe I'll do it for my 50th or something like that, in a few years or something. But I don't want to do it with a friend now, in case I say something stupid that I can't take back, or
God forbid you do.
No, they won't
podcast.
listen. They won't listen.
Yeah.
No one. There is no. The communication isn't to other people. You don't talk to other people. You've got far more interesting things and places to go. You're in another dimension. You're in another universe. You don't really want to have, small talk with your neighbor.
And so it goes all night. So let's say, what is it, 10 hours?
Yeah, basically, they start at 6ish when it gets dark, and it goes on to dawn. Yeah.
Okay, so 10 to 12 hours. 10 to 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then after that, can I drive? Or am I out for a couple of days? Or
I think you probably need to get out of the jungle. You probably need a helicopter. Yeah. Yes, you can. Well, no, it's the same as if you were coming down after a night of doing MDMA or something. You wouldn't want to drive unless you want to have. Can't you afford a taxi?
No, I'm just saying, if I wanted to do it in a hotel, I just keep on thinking that I just want to do this in my house. Can't I just bring a shaman to my house? It's the leaving the house that I don't want to do.
I think they would. Yeah, I'm sure that they'd charge you still. Though, they wouldn't just want to listen to your banter.
I got money.
You don't want to do it in your house.
Yeah, you go. Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't know. I imagine you could bring them to your home. I imagine you could.
Well, I wouldn't be using a bucket.
Yeah, your family's going to be bothering you the whole time. Dad, you're like,
I put them in a hotel.
Oh, yes. Well, there's a church. There are 2 churches in Brazil, by the way.
Yeah, I don't want religion involved. No,
but I'm going to tell you about kids. They use ayahuasca as part of their ceremonies. Their religious. They're kind of Catholic churches, and they use them as part of this ceremony, and the kids take it as well.
Oh.
And that's one of the reasons we know it's pretty safe, because the kids, it's all part of bringing together the whole community of the church.
So
using,
this whole church is like
ayahuasca.
shitting and vomiting?
And what does it...
But they don't take as much. So no, let me just be clear. It's more like what you were talking about with the mushrooms. It breaks down some of the tensions between people, so it makes people more of a group. They become more relaxed and more humorous on it. So they're not having a trip, but they're having a bonding. So at low doses, ayahuasca's like mushrooms. Yeah.
What does it taste like? Is it tasty? Do people enjoy the taste?
I don't think they do, actually. No.
I don't imagine. I've never heard anyone be like, it's pretty good. It's like chicken soup.
All the things that are fun, like eating magic mushrooms doesn't taste good.
No, you just got to chew them and swallow them. Yeah. Just get them down.
Cocaine isn't the most Moorish flavor.
No, there's no drugs that I've ever experienced that have any good tastes.
Vitamin C tablets.
Well, that's because they flavored them.
They're a delight.
the Flintstone vitamins.
I'll tell you what else is good. Metamucil fiber gummies.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Fiber gummy. Much like ayahuasca. So legal restrictions on DMT and ayahuasca around the world. You said DMT and ayahuasca have different restrictions depending, right?
So DMT is illegal all around the world as a pure compound. Ayahuasca is legal in countries like South American countries. It's legal in Mexico, but I think only for Mexicans. It's widely available, though, in other countries. Spain has a very active ayahuasca retreat scene, which is illegal, but effectively not enforced. And many of the European veterans go to Spain to get their ayahuasca treatment.
It is, I don't mean to get all like hip, like people with weed, they're like, it's from a plant, man, and stuff, but it's crazy that DMT is illegal everywhere, but it's in plants. So it's just there.
Well, I would completely agree with you. And I think, as I say, the Australian, let's ban it. Not you can't an indigenous planting your own garden. That's really one of the most absurd things I've ever heard.
Australia, for its whole, we're so laid back. We're so laid back, us Aussies. Yeah. And Australian individuals are. But as a unit, when it comes to rules, love a rule. right? There's no ayahuasca tents going on in fucking Australia like that.
Yeah, you wouldn't want
Here's Gavin, he's your shaman. Gavin's going to give it to you. It's in a Heinz baked bean tin that he's mixed it up in.
and a meat pie.
Yeah,
Sausage roll.
yeah. Now, who here had a meat pie before they came? Not good. You don't have meat in your body. We'll do it anyway.
2 weeks without a pie.
2 weeks without a pie. Oh, they'll never get it up and running in Australia. You gotta go 2 weeks without a pie.
Oh, no, it's
Oh, no. My visions will all be anger.
I think we did all the questions here. Yeah, all right, cool. This is the part of our show called Dinner Party Facts. We ask our guests to give us some fact interesting or
Wash it down with Passiona.
they can use to impress people. You've already given us a couple dinner party facts. You got something else?
Yeah, I want to tell you the funniest story about psychedelics in South America, and it's about mescaline.
All right.
All right.
Which is obviously another psychedelic. It comes from cacti, and when the Catholic missionaries came and they stopped people taking ayahuasca because they saw serpents, they started teaching the people, the relatives or the descendants of the Incas in the mountains of South America about God and about how do you get to heaven. Well, when you die, your soul goes up to heaven, and then you meet a man called St. Peter. St. Peter he has the keys to the gates of heaven. And if you're good, St. Peter will ask you questions, and if you pass the test of goodness, you will go into heaven. And the native people said, well, that's fascinating, actually. We've been doing that for thousands of years. Yeah, and the Spanish said, "What are you talking about?" And they said, "Well, yeah, we have this cactus, which when we take it, takes us to heaven. This is the mescaline cactus." and they said, and more than that, we're going to rename this cactus the San Pedro, the St. Peter cactus, because it just says what it says on the tin. And I thought that was just a wonderful 2 fingers to the Spanish saying, basically, your religion's okay, but we got a better one, and we're going to name our cactus after you just to spite you because you don't want us to use it.
That reminds me of an old joke about what is it? The mother and daughter bus ride. Have I told you this one?
No.
Okay, for Americans, this joke doesn't work as well, but you'll know that the difference between the two words, right? So a mother and daughter trip has a bus accident. Everyone on the bus dies, very sadly. They all go up to heaven, and all the mothers and daughters are waiting to get up into heaven. And the first lady, she's lined up there, and St. Peter says, "You're not allowed into heaven." I don't know why he's British, but he goes, "You're not allowed into heaven." He goes, "Your whole life was ruled by money. All you thought about was money, 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 money. You even called your daughter Penny. Down to hell with you." Right? And then the next one comes up and he goes, "You're not allowed into heaven. All you thought about was alcohol and drinking and all that type of stuff. Drink, 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 drink. You even called your daughter Sherry. Down to hell with you." And the next woman turns to her daughter and goes, "I don't think we should bother, Fanny."
It still works because Fanny, but I know what Fanny
means pussy in the rest of the world. And it means bum in America, but it's a solid joke.
Still works. I had a different visual though. Yeah.
I didn't know what sherry was.
Sherry's an after dinner drink, a port. Sherry, a little tiny, a dessert one.
Never had one.
Professor David Nutt, thank you for being here. The podcast is called the Drug Science Podcast. It's not just about DMT and ayahuasca. As you can see, if you're watching this, he's got numerous books that he's written. Drugs Without the Hot Air was the one I mentioned before. But if you go on Amazon and you search Professor David Nutt, you'll see a book, Psychedelics, the Revolutionary Drugs That Could Change Your Life. Drink, The New Science of Alcohol and Health. Neuroscience based on... oh, that's not you. Sorry. Whoops, skip that. But anyways, go search Professor David Nutt on Amazon and you'll see a whole bunch of other books about different types of drugs and neuropharmacology. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Dr. David. No,
Loved it. Thank you so much.
we appreciate you. Good laugh.
Let me know when it's going out and I'll tweet it.
Oh, will do. Will do. If you're ever at a party, someone comes up to you and goes, you can't find DMT anywhere in Australia. Go, well, I don't know about that. And walk away.
The wattle. Look for the wattle.
Look for the wattle.
Ask the natives.